Good morning students, I welcome you all to your literature class. This is the continuation of a poem which we had already learned about, half of it in the previous video, so we are going to continue. The Wind and the Moon, written by George MacDonald. I will be starting from page number 86 from the top. Okay, if I just tell you the summary of it or the portion which we have covered, just a review or the content of it, we will see that in that what we have seen, moon and wind is there. Wind and moon, they both are personified. Personified means, I have told you, they are taken as human beings. Actually, we know they are not human beings, but when we assume something as human being, then it is known as personified. And wind is taken as male character and moon as female character. Now, moon has nothing to do with the wind, but wind thinks that moon is interfering in this business or trying to see what he is doing all the time. Or always he thinks that she is always after this wind, and that is why he has some sort of anger or rage, you can say, which he shows through his actions. Now we will continue. He blew a great blast and the thread was gone in the air. Nowhere was a moonbeam there. Far off and harmless the sky, the shy star shone. Sure and certain that the moon was gone. In this para it says that it talks about he blew. Now who is blowing the wind every time? It is the wind who is doing it. And it says that with a great blast, means with a great blow, he started blowing its wind. And then what happened? Suddenly the thread which was shown, the thread means the very thin part of the moon which could be seen, now that is also disappeared in the air. And he says that nowhere was a moonbeam there. Means nowhere on the sky you can see the part of the moon in it. And that is why now wind became very happy with this. Far off and harmless the shy stars shone. And everywhere only the stars could be seen, but not the moon, because wind has felt that now because of my blow finally I have driven the moon from the sky. And it says that harmless. Why it uses the word harmless? Because he means the wind thinks that there could be harm from the moon, means moon can harm me, but these stars which are very shy, they will not at all harm me. So harmless is used for stars, and even the word shy is used for stars. Sure and certain that the moon was gone, and he was very confident. He was very sure about it that moon is finally gone. The wind he took to his revels once more, on down in town like a merry man clown. He leapt and hallooed with whistle and roar, what's that? The glimmering thread once more. Now as he was celebrating his victory, you can say, he was very happy that yes, finally I have done what I wanted to do. The wind he took to his revels once more means here in this full paragraph it is trying to show, in order to express his glee means his happiness. What he did, the wind blew violently, means extreme wind blew, and because of which there was certain sound was also there in the atmosphere. It says across the world that sound can be heard, and it was making a loud sound when it was blowing. You must have heard this sort of sound. It is created sometime because of the rustling of the leaves or of the things, or the movement of the things on the road which are scattered here and there. But it is taken as a sound, means that the sound of happiness was there in that madness, that he was so mad that oh yes, I have done it. And what he was doing actually, he was making anybody can laugh at. But he was not doing that for anybody else, but because he was happy from inside, and that is why all that was shown in his actions here. And it says that that did not last for long now. This action, whatever he was doing, moving here and there, blowing wind from every corner to every corner of the world. But what happened? It did not last for long. It did not continue. It did not continue for long. Why? Because again he saw moon back. Let's read. What's that? In the last line of that para, it says, stanza, it says that, what's that? The glimmering thread once again. Oh, again it is back. He flew in a rage, he danced and blew, but in vain was the pain. In his anger, again he blew very in a harsh manner here and there. Why? Not with excitement this time, but in a very, you can say, sadness, or in the pain. He was in the pain, that anger, that sadness could be seen by the action of the wind. And it says that on his bursting brain, now of his bursting brain, it was almost like his brain is going to burst. When it happens, children, when you have lots of things in your brain, when you are in tension, then at that point of time you may say that my brain is going to burst. And so same was the condition of the wind. It was feeling like as if its brain is going to burst. For still the broader the moon's scrape grew. But what happened? For still the broader, and it became little broader, and then again the moon's scrape grew. See the meaning of it? The moon, which was just a small piece, was now growing in size. Sometimes it was growing in size, then again it was shrinking to that small thin line or the thread line. Then again it was growing. That was its part. It was not doing, moon was not doing it for the wind, but actually it was his way of doing, or it was his style of doing it. And now when moon started growing bigger and bigger, now the tension of the wind started increasing. The broader he swelled, his big cheeks and blew. And when he saw that the moon is growing bigger, now wind has also started doing something. What it did, he swelled his big cheeks as if he has filled his mouth with lot of wind inside. And then gathering that wind in his mouth, then with a great force he blew it in order to do same work to remove the moon. Slowly she grew till she filled the night, but it did not stop the moon to. Moon grew and finally it became so big in size that night time, although it was night, I told you, that everything was filled with brightness of the moon. Light filled everywhere in that night time and shone on her throne in the sky alone. And the moon would be seen sitting on the throne, as if it is sitting on the throne in the sky alone, a matchless, wonderful, silvery light, radiant and lovely, the queen of the night. Now moon is compared to or is taken as the queen of the night. Queen of the night means it is not matchable. Unmatchable means you cannot match that with anything else. It is so beautiful that you cannot compare that beauty or that thing with anything else. Then in the next para, she said the wind, what a marvel of power am I was with my breath, good faith. I bless her to death. I blew her to death. First blew her away right out of the sky, then blew her in. What strength have I? Maybe he is frustrated now. Wind is frustrated. In his frustration, now instead of thinking that moon has occupied the full sky with its brightness, now he is thinking of the time when he succeeded in, according to his perception, that he was succeeded in throwing the moon away. And he marvels, means he boasts upon himself and says that wind, I have thrown it away. Now in this, what you will find, it is shown that that wind is overconfident. Being confident is different and being overconfident is different. It is being overconfident now, and he's saying that I was so powerful that I did it. But the moon, she knew nothing about the affair, for high in the sky with her one white eye, motionless miles away above the air, she had never heard the great wind blare. It says in the last para, but moon was not at all aware of anything. According to the wind, it was like that some sort of fight is there between moon and wind. But actually the reason for fight, or whether that there is some problem with moon and wind, moon is not at all aware about this. And it is written, nothing about the affair, nothing about the topic or the matter she knows, for high in the sky, and it stays in the sky with her one white eye. According to it, one white eye, because in the beginning somewhere we have seen that it is taken as a ghost, and that ghost with one eye, it said that every time the moon used to see the wind with that ghost eye. And here it says that motionless miles above the air she had never heard the great wind there. And children, we all know that moon has somewhere high up in the above in the space. It stays there. And above the earth's atmosphere, you can observe that where this wind cannot reach. That is why it says after that, without any effect of the wind's action, now moon is peaceful, moon is calm, staying in the place where definitely this wind cannot reach. Here what we will see, some personification, I have told you what it is. Simile is also used here. Simile in the line where it is written ghost, that sitting like a ghost in a chair. This here ghost is compared with the moon. Another way, another place we will see merry mad clown. Here this is compared with it where you can see simile is used. Then what you will experience or find here, that we have two sort of characters here. One character is who is never satisfied, very selfish, angry person, or you can say ill-tempered and a proud person. Now I am sure you are able to answer who is this. The characteristics of which person is this? It is about the wind. And when I talk about moon, means it is calm, it is noble queen, very beautiful person from inside and outside too. That is why it did not take a single step to fight back with the wind. So this was all about the poem. You all can learn word meanings of this and even revise this poem. Thank you and take care.